This is your tech news briefing for Monday, November 21st. I'm Zoe Thomas for the Wall Street Journal. Over 24 workers at Meta have been fired or disciplined as part of an internal investigation by company executives into the misuse of an internal system known as OOPS. That's according to people familiar with the matter and documents viewed by the Wall Street Journal. The abuse of that system raises questions about how much control and access some Meta staff and contractors have to users' data. Joining us to discuss this WSJ exclusive is our reporter, Kirsten Grind. Hi, Kirsten. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Can you start by telling us a little bit more about this OOPS system?
Yes, it's short for online operations, and it's this internal Meta system that allows employees and contractors to basically file an internal request, almost like a complaint, when there's a problem with their or like a friend or family's Facebook or Instagram account. One way to think of it is like a concierge helpline, right? If you lost your password, if your account has been hacked, but again, only for insiders at Meta and only for their friends and family.
What do we know about how the system was misused?
What Meta has been investigating for over a year is this issue where through the OOPS channel, if you're an employee or a contractor, you would have access to a user's account, which you can do through that channel. And so rather than using that to, say, help a user, some of these employees and contractors were misusing it. They were getting into user accounts, often with the purpose of taking the accounts over and reselling them, sometimes for a lot of money.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how we know this information?
So my colleague and I, Bob McMillan, we've actually been looking into this for quite a long time because we kind of couldn't believe that actual employees and contractors, some of whom were physical security guards, so not really people who normally would have access to Meta systems, that this was happening. And so we spent a lot of time calling around and talking to various parties. And we learned through the course of that this was actually an issue that Meta has been investigating for some time.
You know, for the people who were victims of the misuse of this OOPS system, what was the experience like for them?
So Meta is notorious for its terrible customer service, meaning they actually have almost no customer service. So unfortunately, there's a frequency in which users either get locked out of their account or are hacked, or something as simple as losing your password, and there's just literally no one you can contact at Meta by phone or email. Now, Meta is working on this. They say they're committed to building this out. But right at this moment, there's not anything like that. So for the user, you actually have no idea if it's an actual bad actor hacker that's gotten into your account, or now maybe what we're revealing is it could actually have been a Meta employee, right? Now, we're saying we know of more than 24 employees and contractors over the last year. So I don't want to give the mistaken impression that there's widespread misuse of the system by Meta employees. But as a user, you would just basically be having issues with your account that you can't fix. And in a lot of cases, you just lose your account because you can't get through to anyone.
What steps has Meta taken to deal with the situation?
So as part of this investigation, they've actually fired and or disciplined, we say more than 24 employees and contractors. And so they've been at this for quite a long time looking into it. They're clearly aware it's an issue. They've told us that this is not something that they will tolerate on any of their platforms and that they'll continue to go after these types of people.
And you mentioned some of those people were contractors. What has the contracting company said about the situation?
So the company is called Allied Universal, and they literally just provide security guards stationed at Meta properties. But the thing is, accessing this OOPS platform was kind of a perk of the job. And so what happened there is like some people were abusing it. So Allied has told us they don't stand for that and they won't tolerate abuse either.
I mean, what does this situation then tell us about kind of our access and control of, what we think of as our own personal data and to these social media pages that can be so important to us personally or, even for some businesses?
I mean, it's true, unfortunately, that you can lose access and not get it back. There's ways, and we helpfully put something online at the Wall Street Journal website to protect your account from hackers and to make sure you have the right security on there so you don't lose your account or you don't find yourself in a situation where you're trying to contact Facebook or Instagram with no customer service. But at the end of the day, it's their platform and there's not a lot of recourse at this point for losing your account or anything like that.
All right, that's our reporter, Kirsten Grind. Thanks so much for explaining this to us.
Thanks for having me.
And that's it for today's Tech News Briefing. For more tech stories, head over to our website, WSJ.com. I'm Zoe Thomas for the Wall Street Journal. Thanks for listening.